G'day legends, Mod from Mod Scale Models. I'm back again. What are we doing? Well, I've had a few people reach out to me and ask me what sort of air compressor I use, and I've had a couple of people say, can you do a tutorial on your air compressor? And I thought, well, yeah, I can do that. So let's talk about hobby air compressors. Let's go. Okay, so what does an air compressor do for the hobbyist? Fair question, right? A little air compressor, and I call them little because they are, a little air compressor, right, provides consistent airflow for primers, paints, and clear coats. Okay? Essential for smooth finishes on your scale models. Gives control, consistency, and a professional result. Okay, now while we're talking about air compressors, there's all sorts in this world. There's the top end industrial units like the ones I used to use, and there's the bottom end, which are your cheapies for doing what we do, and some of the ones that we use in the hobby worlds aren't cheap either. So what we'll try and do, we'll try and land somewhere where it fits in with what we do. Okay, we'll try and land somewhere on the hobby desk. Okay. All right, let's talk about the types of air compressors. Okay, the first one is the small diaphragm compressor tankless. Okay, they're cheap, portable. All right, the pulsating airflow can cause uneven paint, so they're a little inconsistent, particularly for long use. Probably really suited well to the casual hobbyist if you're doing a casual stuff, and if you're only painting small stuff, I think that'd be fine. The next one is the piston compressor tankless. That's mine. Okay. More stable airflow. Still continuous running. Okay, so she doesn't stop, right? They do get a little warm, all right, and they get a bit of moisture build up in them, all right. But we'll talk about how we deal with that later, all right. Good for beginners stepping up. All right. And as you can see, I've got one. I should upgrade mine, but why, right? It just works. Okay. And like I said, we'll look at mine a bit closely later. All right. The next one is the piston compressors with an air tank. Okay. Okay. Look. They're probably if you said, Mod, which one would you reckon I should get? And if you're really serious about your hobby and you want to spend a couple of dollars on the right one, I would definitely recommend the piston compressor with air tank. Okay, it's the most stable, consistent airflow for airbrushing. All right, tank reduces pulsation and noise. Ideal for model builders wanting a high quality paint finish. Okay, hope that makes sense. So the little guy's working his ringer off, he gets the air down into the air tank. All right, so you've always got a good supply of air. He'll only kick in once the air gets down to a certain point in the tank. All right, and then he'll kick in again. So you've got a constantly good air supply. Okay. The next one is the hardware style, store type of air compressors. All right. Not ideal. They're a bit loud, too powerful. Too much moisture comes out of them. Look, with the proper with proper air regulators on, you can probably control it way better. But yeah, they're probably a little bit too big. I mean, I'm sure there's some people going to write in the comments, hey, I got one of them and it works perfect. They can work. It's all about the air regulator. All right, and we'll talk about that later. All right. All right, so that's the type of air compressors out there. Like I said, I'm trying to bang it in on the hobby table world. Look, if there's some others out there that I've missed, yeah, drop it in the comments. But that's sort of the ones that I thought would be appropriate for what we do. So let's get on to the next one. Key features to look for is PSI, all right? Pressure control. Ideal for scale models. Look, yeah, I get asked that question all the time, and it can come down to a personal thing, because some people spray a bit closer, some people spray a bit back, and we're all a little different, and you got to find your own little sweet spot. But ideally, look, anywhere between your 12 psi up to 25 psi. All right, I try and vary between 20 psi to 23 psi. I vary. Just depends on what gun I'm using or airbrush I'm using. Am I priming? Am I base coating? Am I top coating? And that sort of style. You know, if I'm after a little orange peel on one of my scale models to give it that factory look. Look, I adjust as I go a lot of the times. So PSI. Yeah, that's one of your key features. All right. The next one is your moisture trap regulator. All right. Prevents paint spitting and water contamination. All right. And it also controls the PSI as well. Okay. That's that there. All right. Your little regulator's got your little bottle underneath. All right. Where this one's glass. The world I come from, this is plastic. The world I come from, we had glass bottles. Okay. So there's that. There's the key features. Noise level. Hobbyists often work indoors, so the quieter the better. Yeah? Mine's about as noisy as I want it to be. I wouldn't want it any noisier. Yeah, the quieter the better, right? For obvious reasons, because most of us are indoors. I'd like to think most of us are indoors. I wouldn't like to be doing in the summer months up here in sunny Queensland or Australia. I wouldn't like to do it outdoors. It'd be a bit hot. I reckon my plastic would be melting. Next one, another key feature would be the duty cycle. All right, how long the compressor can run before it overheats. Yeah, so these are like little important key features that you need to consider. All right, and tank size, if that's applicable to you. You know, you can get 1 to 3 litre tanks. Between 1 and 3 litre are probably bang on for us on the hobby table. Yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at what I use. So the brand I use is, let me get myself sorted here. The brand I use is a H-Sing. Look, it's not the cheapest one out there. It's definitely not the most expensive one out there. And like I said before, it kind of just works, right? So that's turning on. And obviously this video is more targeted to people that want to go over to the air compressor. You know, it's not about telling you hobbyists that are quite good at the game. I'm not telling you to suck eggs. As I always say, you don't know if you don't know, and there's a lot of people that don't know. So we're more targeting those people. Okay, so don't send me any hate mail. Don't become a keyboard warrior and send me okay. So this is mine, all right, and I'll give you a basic rundown. It's rubber feet. It's got rubber feet, and it's pretty good. That's power in, all right, and little air compressor. Little piston in there. I'm pretty sure it's only got one piston. All right, it's got the little grills to help move the heat around and help it cool down. All right, that's the air regulator. All right, now I deliberately left this on over the weekend so I could get some moisture build up in it. And this time of year in sunny Queensland, yeah, I do get more moisture in my little tankless air compressor. Okay, so there it is there. You can see it there. All right, now how I get rid of that is I just there's a little relief thingamajiggery underneath, like a little plunger that sort of seals itself. All right, and I just fill her up again. Fill her up again. Okay. And that gets rid of it. All right. This time of year, like I said, up where we are in sunny Queensland, and I say up. I don't know why I say up. Some people might be upper, so I'm down. So, in sunny Queensland where I am, this time of year, I run two moisture traps. Okay, I run a little one, same brand as the air compressor. All right, and I'll put down the part number and the cost for both these items. Okay, all right. I'll put that down. This is fantastic. It basically does the same thing as the bigger one. All right, it's got the little plunger there and I tell you what, I don't get any moisture at all. All right, coming out there. Okay. In the wintertime, I don't need to run this. This is a new one, just for this season and for the hot season. So in the wintertime, I don't need to run it. Just need to run this one. But definitely over the warmer months, yeah, too. Yeah. So I actually need to order another one for my other airbrush as well. Okay, so that's that. You can undo these, give them a clean. All right. There's not a great deal of maintenance on the air regulator. To adjust them, all right. Oh, before we adjust it, let's talk about PSI to the trigger. All right, to trigger pull. All right. Now, what do I mean by that? All right. When you pull the trigger, the PSI the readings that are all the figures that I give you for PSI, they are at trigger pull. All right. Because if you ran this at 20 PSI and then trigger pull, you're going to be way down. Okay? Hope that makes sense. All right? So I'm currently sitting at just under 60 PSI. All right? But when I run it continuously, she drops down to 22 PSI. And she'll hold it consistently. It's pretty good. This little guy just delivers for me. Like I said, if it's not broke, don't change it, right? Don't fix it. So I'm up at 60 PSI before I start to get down to 22 PSI. All right? Hope that makes sense. All right? So PSI is always at trigger pull. All right? Now, to adjust them, most your air compressors will have like a locking cap, okay? And then from there, push down and then turn, okay? All right? Sorry, push up and turn and then lock down, push down to lock and then put the locking nut. And that adjusts your PSI, okay? So what I would recommend you do is, if you're setting up your air compressor, pull your trigger and do your adjustments. Okay. All right. So the next thing we'll look at is the air hose. I'm just running the air hose that comes with the compressor, and it's fine. It just works fine. If you find you're getting some air leaks, more than likely it's going to be in your joints. Okay. Now, if that happens, I've got a product that I keep in my little books, and grab yourself some white tape. You know, the plumber's tape, okay? Put it on your threads, you know, go backwards, go opposite to the thread, or in this case, you'd go, all right? Put it on, and that will guarantee you that's going to stop most of the air leaks that you have. If you've got a kink in your line and it's got a crease, you can buy joiners. Then you need to clamp them, all right? Unless you've got crimping tools and all that sort of stuff to do this sort of fitting, which I don't. So look after your air lines. The air lines are available. There's lots of different types. This is probably more the top end one. That's for my Pesci. I mean, you can see the difference, right? It's just beautiful, but they run a different BSP size, so it doesn't fit my regulator. Typical them, they like to be different. But that is a cracking hose. Yeah, cracking hose. So that's that one. You probably notice I use Quick Connects. All right, they're not expensive. You can get them online. If I remember the price and where I got them from, I'll put it just here for you guys. Okay, so they're just quick release. All right. And I forgot to also mention, with mine's got an auto cut off, which is pretty obvious, right? So auto cut off. So disconnect. Yeah. It's pretty good if you using multiple guns. You know, some people use guns set up just for primers. This is I've been testing this one. This is going to be my primer gun. And then I'll use my Pesci as my clear and colour gun. So it's great if you're going, but just between them all. Okay. So there's my Pesci at the moment. I'm just in the process of giving it a clean. Okay. So there you go. So that's my air compressor. Right, recommendations. Best overall. Look, the small piston compressor with a tank and a good regulator would be my best recommendation. The best overall. All right, it's great for apartments, little offices, in-house. They're going to be a lot quieter. All right. For beginners on a budget, this one here. Yeah, can't go wrong, right? Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with that one. So I will end this video here. If you guys like this sort of content, just let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do it. So just reach out to me and say, hey, can you cover off on this mod? And I'll go, yeah, I can have a look at that for you. So like, comment, subscribe if you like this content, and really appreciate it if you smash that like button. I'll do it while you wait. Oh, sorry, do it while I wait, please. And hit the subscribe button too. It really helps. The more subscribers I get, the more sponsors will come on board. The more sponsors come on board, the more content I can do for you guys. It's really that simple. As far as my little mugs, I've only got about, let me have a look. I've only got about 4 or 5 left. Yeah, I did a small batch and they're almost gone. And this is my one. This is my one because it's my one. That's the duck's guts. And the other one is Schmicko on the Dicko, but I've sold most of them. There's a couple of them left as well. So if you want one of them, reach out to me, and I'll organise one for you to come over. So there you go. So I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.